In just a few days, we will be releasing a facilitator guide for Remind Me Again that has 41 sessions to guide youth groups, small groups, retreats, and other groups through the poems of Remind Me Again. I am so thrilled to announce this at our celebration today because we can also introduce the writer of this facilitator guide, Reverend Dr. Jia Starr Brown. Reverend Dr. Jia Starr Brown is an educator, activist, spiritual director, and curriculum designer who developed these 41 sessions to accompany Joe's collection of poetry in Remind Me Again. And so I have just a question or two to ask Jia before Joe begins his readings. So Jia, who do you hope uses these sessions? What do you appreciate about this collection of Joe's poetry? How do you think these sessions can offer something different to ministry leaders and those that they serve?
That's a lot of questions. I'm so glad that you left one paper for me. So first, let me just say what an honor it is to be invited into this event, this experience that is Joe Davis's writing. And it's been awesome to be able to spend real intimate time with his work and dreaming about how we could bring these writings and these collections of wisdom that you have to people in different ways in different situations. And so I appreciate that this was easy to do. Joe's work is beautiful and amazing, and it was really easy for me to dream. And so I appreciate that the collection of Joe's poetry isn't leaning toward one particular denomination or a group of people, but that every single person can find themselves and their humanity and their holiness in Joe's work. And I think that's super rare and super needed, especially in seasons that we live in today. I really hope that every person uses these sessions. So many times we see these sessions, these ideas about how to bring certain concepts to the people that we love or the people that we teach. And we kind of, we compartmentalize that. And we say, well, that's for the teachers and that's for these specific folks. But as I was writing, I was thinking about my 5 children. I was thinking about my grandson. I was thinking about coworkers and colleagues of mine and how this ministry and how these sessions, we call them sessions, so these curriculum guide could accompany Joe's work, but also in an expansive way that allows people to have the permission to have conversations that they normally wouldn't have in their context, and to dream a little bit more from where they would have in their context. I will tell you, when I think about how I think these sessions can offer something different to ministry leaders and those that they serve. Listening to Dawn, who kind of gave this really awesome introduction about my journey and what I do, who I am, I stand right at the intersection of faith, education, and justice. That's my jam. Those 3 spaces are my jam. And so because of that, every work that I put forth in curriculum or preaching or in any type of work that I do, I'm always wanting to invite people into more expansive ways of having conversations. I want to invite them into, to challenge them, to consider how this conversation or this scripture or this poem could actually be meaningful when we're thinking about what's happening in the heart of downtown Minneapolis in May of 2020, right? Or how these poems actually can mean something when we're talking about all of the encampments. Right? And the beautiful people that are in these encampments and what's happening with struggles all around the world with homelessness. Right? And so I think that, so many times we are in spaces where we limit the conversations to people and to their circles. But this here invites us to look through our lenses in a more social lens, in a more social context that says, how are we not only moving forth with our neighbors in a way that, that our faith or our beliefs are guiding us, but also what are the things that we're missing that we normally wouldn't necessarily check. So I'm asking questions about social justice and injustice, and I'm asking people to talk about those who are hurting and are in pain, and I'm asking people, I'm challenging them to get into their communities and to move forth in a way that where they're actually living out these beliefs, right? So I'm not handing that to them, but I'm inviting this. So I think it's a different path. It's a different path to, I'm really excited about it. And I hope, like I said, first, if you haven't gotten Joe's book, you need to get Joe's book. And then in a couple of days, get this too. Together, the two of these are I think it's a really great partnership and a really great pair. So thanks again for inviting me into the space and into this project.